Shalom, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us his truth. Peace, love, and salutation to the hopeful like Akim. Teaching and preaching his truth with all righteousness and sincerity. This is Ak Yahweh and today's lesson is entitled, There's Going to Come a Time When You Will Have to Forsake Everything, and Lord willing, you be edified through the Spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, the true names of the Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son. As always, the sit-downs, the lessons, the street speaking is for the remnant, the elect, the Israel, the Most High, to use the gospel preached. So, forsake.
Forsake.
It says abandon someone or something. Here are some of the synonyms. It says abandon, desert, leave, quit. It's going to come a time we're going to have to quit that job. Leave. It's going to come a time we're going to have to leave your dwelling place. You're going to have to leave the house. All right. Leave high and dry. Turn one's back on, certain family members. You're going to have to turn your back on. Your wife, she might not even be of the elect. She may take, the MOTB, so you're going to have to turn your back on her, even children. All right? And this is a part of the straight gate. All right? And as we preach this gospel, we got to often remind ourselves that, look, there's going to be some things that we're going to have to forsake on this side. All right, even the men of the Lord, when they were with Yahweh Shai, they mentioned how they have forsaken all, and what shall we receive? Let's get that real quick in Matthew 19. And once again, Lord willing, this be edifying to the elect, Habakarian. I want to say it's Matthew 19 towards the end. And it's entitled The Disciples' Reward. This is Matthew 19:27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all. You have men of the Lord that have to forsake everything and follow thee. What shall we have therefore? And that's a good question. Look, we've forsaken everything. We've had businesses, we've had property, we had wives, children, we had particular hobbies, we had things that we did outside of truth. We forsaken all those things to follow you, to follow after the truth, to follow after righteousness. What shall we have, therefore? What are we going to get for doing this? What type of reward are we going to get? And Yahweh Shai said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration or the reincarnation, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So you forsaking all and you following after the truth. When Yahweh Shai come back and deliver the elect and establish the kingdom, all right, the throne of his glory, you're going to have a high position in that. All right. So now the 12 thrones, that's allotted, to the 12, disciples. But then you have the governing body, the 144,000, the men, all right, who was in their mouth was found no guile, that preached and teached his truth, that had the testimony of Yahweh Shai, that went out and did the work. All right, they abhorred evil, they eschewed evil, and they kept the law, the statutes, and commandments the best they can. You endure to the end, you're going to have a high position in the kingdom too. Because it's going to be, as an elder apostle Tahar always says, it's going to be levels in the kingdom. You got Yahweh Shai, you got David, and then you got the rest of the apostles, and then you got the 144,000. All right, it says, and everyone that have forsaken houses. So you're going to have to forsake, or as we went into the word forsake, you're going to have to leave. You're going to have to quit. You're going to have to leave behind. There's going to be things you're going to have to leave behind. All right. So men have left behind houses or brethren, family members, certain friends of the world, or sister or mother or father or wife. You may have to kick your wife to the curb, because it's going to come a time where, you're going to have to, make the decision. Are you going to serve the Lord, or are you going to try to figure this shit out over here in Babylon that's slowly crumbling right before your eyes? Or children, certain children that ain't getting right, the generation, Generation Z? This whole generation is bugged out. Are you going to try to, continue to set up a legacy and try to figure out, what college for your children and all this different stuff? You'll have to forsake their ass too. or lands. You know, you got property, you got lands, you got businesses, so on and so forth. For my name's sake, shall receive a hundredfold and shall inherit an everlasting life. So there's going to be things that you're going to have to give up in order to, get get this reward. And it's not, if you got a cool setup now, you know, not pushing a vibration for you to just go out and just, um, cause these unnecessary problems for yourself. But there is going to come a time, and you'll know in the spirit where man is going. You're going to have to make the choice. It says, "But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first." All right. So I want to point the picture on how even Peter, which he was the head of the church, he mentioned how he forsaken all. And Yahushua said, "Look, whatever you have given up on this side, you're gonna get a hundredfold in the kingdom, and on top of that, you're gonna have a high position in the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of Israel." So here in Isaiah 10 and 20, it's entitled "A Remnant Will Return." It says, "And it shall come to pass in that day," and as always, when you come across this phrase, it's talking about future prophecy, "that the remnant of Israel, in such as are escaped by the house of Jacob." A remnant is a small portion of a large matter. The Lord ain't dealing with all Israel right now. He's only dealing with a remnant. Now, all Israel will be saved, but the 2/3, they got to get cut off and die. And then they'll come back in the kingdom through the loins of the elect. All right. And then that's when it will be fulfilled. All Israel shall be saved. It says, "And such as are escaped by the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, which Esau, Edom, the so called white man, has smote the children of Israel in these times." All right. And then under him, you got Moab, Ammon, Ishmael, and all those other nations that are conglomerate with Esau. So it's going to come a time where we're not going to stay upon him that smote them, and we're already doing it now. We have forsaken the religions, we have forsaken his philosophy, we have forsaken everything that Esau has magnified to be righteous. We have forsaken that, we have abandoned that. you know But there will come a time where we're going to have to be off the grid. It says, "But shall stay upon Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in truth." So you're going to have to pick and choose who you're going to serve. And you cannot serve two masters. You're going to either serve him that smote them, your enemies, or you're going to serve Yahweh Bashim Yahushai in truth. So you're going to have to make that decision. You know, it says, "And the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the Almighty power." So it's all about the remnant, the elect, the Israel, the Most High. And the remnant is going to have to make, that choice, which the Lord is going to be with them in spirit and truth. Let's get some more precepts. This is 2nd Esdras 16, verse 32. "And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old." I'm thinking about that movie, I Am Legend. When Will Smith was traveling through Manhattan, and he was in that Ford Cobra Mustang, and it was laid waste. And that's how it's going to be. Once this economic collapse happened, and once people rebel, once the grinding cease, once these women is experiencing a reproach, it's crime, it's riot, it's violence, it's all kind of lawlessness going on. People's going to be in the house hiding. It says, "In her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel there through." People gonna be hiding. Esau gonna be like a madman, sparing none. He's gonna come down with great wrath. People's gonna be trying to flee from that. But there will be protection for the man of the Lord. It says, "Angels encampeth around about them that fear him, and delivereth them." So it's gonna be deliverance for the elect. "The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. Women shall mourn, having no husband. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers." That's the reproach that these women is going to have. That's why you read in Isaiah 4:1, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, "We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach." This is a reproach. Women isn't going to have a hedge of protection. Just as us men, we have the hedge of protection of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to deliver us from these different things that we experience in this walk. Well, women isn't going to have men to protect them. And that whole women independent and I'm strong and all these different talking points these women have, that only thrives in a system that's up and running. You know, when the infrastructure is all set and the court system is good and you can pick up your phone and you can call 911, that's when women are able to make those proud statements full of vanity. You know, but the Lord is going to switch it up. It says, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish in the famine. So if you're not a man of the Lord, you're going to die out here, whether in the war, whether in the famine, whether in the race riots. You know, these men is going to get destroyed. But the men of the Lord, there's going to be protection. And we always go into Isaiah 32, Isaiah 13:12. You know, a man shall be as fine gold. You know, a man is going to be like rivers of water in a dry place and a rock in a weary land. The man of the Lord is going to be where it's at. You know, it says, hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. So these is particular things that the Lord is warning us that's going to happen and that we should understand. These are the times that we're entering into. All right. The servants are the prophets, Amos 3:7. Surely Yahweh will do nothing but he revealeth his secrets unto the servants, the prophets. You know, this is a message for us, the Lord speaking to us. Behold, the word of Yahweh, receive it or understand it. You know, even James, the brother Yahushua, he said, receive the engrafted word, which is able to which is able to save your souls. You got to receive his word. Believe not the gods whom Yahweh spake, these false gods, all these different influences. Because another word for God is influence. You know, all these different influences, all these different gods. You know, believe not those things, because all those things is finna come to naught. It says, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. Case in point, when Joe Biden, when he came out to speak in regards to the situation with the banks last month, he said, hey, don't worry about it. You know, everything's good. You know, everything's going back to normal. Everything's going to be okay. You don't have to run on the banks. You don't have to take out your money. We're handling it. Things is going to be okay. All right. You don't believe no shit like that. You know, the end time prophecies speak about a new financial system. All right. The end time prophecies speak about the keepers of the house trembling, which are the financial and economic economists. They're trembling because they don't see a bright future here. You know, there's countless reports coming out on how a lot of these businesses and stores, they're laying off employees. They're doing furloughs. 10% of their work staff is being let off, 25%. You know, the grinding is ceasing. You know, you don't think that's going to affect the banking system? So, as it says here, behold, the word of Yahweh, receive it. And a part of this word is the prophecies. You got to receive that. You got to understand. And understanding comes from Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. It says, believe not the gods whom Yahweh spake, all these false gods. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. This is the information that the Lord wants us to receive, to understand. The plagues draw nigh, and it's plural. There's going to be so many different things out here that's happening, and they're not going to be slack. They're going to be full of pressure. As when a woman with child in her ninth month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains can pass her womb, which pains, when a child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. So the things that's coming upon the world is going to be synonymous to how a woman gives birth, which when a woman gives birth, she has these labor contractions. And as the child, you know, begins to come out, those labor contractions, they get, number one, uncontrolled, and two, consistent, and three, the pain gets worser. So things is going to get worse here. Things isn't going to get better. You know, when the kingdom of heaven is established, which is the rulership of the Israelites starting with our Lord Yahushua, that's when things will get better. And during Jacob's trouble, or as Yahushua called it, tribulation, you know, there will be protection for the men of the Lord. You know, prophecies do say, um, when the world is languishing in sorrow, you're gonna rejoice and be merry. So the men of the Lord is gonna have a polar opposite attitude toward versus the people that's experiencing these different things that's coming on the world. But for the most part, there's gonna be a lot of shit happening around us, right? Even when you read in Psalm 91, 10,000 shall fall by thy side and thousands over here, but it shall not come nigh thee. So it's going to be death all around us, but we not going to be experiencing it. Lord willing, we are part of the elect and we enduring to the end. So now in the 39th verse, it says, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. Everywhere people go, everywhere people turn, it's going to be some type of sorrow, mourning, lamenting, sighing, crying, wailing, the smell of death. All that stuff is going to be going on. Oh, my people, and elect is the Lord's people. When you read in Zechariah, the 13th chapter, it speaks about the 1/3 being tried as gold is tried and refined as silver is refined. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people. The elect is the Lord people. Hear my word, hear these prophecies, get the understanding, make you ready for the battle. All right, because that's what it's going to feel like out here, a battle. Esau coming down with great wrath, you know. You having to be off the grid. You looking at, you see the different end time post-apocalyptic movies, and they get their inspiration from the prophecies and the scripts. It says make you ready for the battle. You got to get your mind ready, you know. And in those evils, Jacob's trouble, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. So it's going to come a time where you're going to have to forsake. You're going to have to be a pilgrim. Now, a pilgrim is a traveler who is on a journey to a holy place. Typically, this is a physical journey to some place of special significance to the abhorrent of particular religious belief system. So our religious belief is is found in the scripts, and it's through Yahweh and the different things that we read in the prophecies. So the prophecies speak about all kind of hell breaking loose, and prophecies speak about being pilgrims, travelers. We're gonna have to get off the grid. You gotta, make sure you meditating on that. You know, you don't know what your lot is. Don't think you just finna be in your apartment all the way to the chariots come. You gonna have your bills paid up, all your bills, rent, cell phone bill, all that shit up to date. You know, and then wow, here go your Howard Shy. So it's not gonna happen like that. You're gonna have to be on go. Look at your Howard Shy. He was on go. Look at David when he experienced, his affliction. He had to go off the grid. Look at read about the Maccabees. They had to get off grid. They was all in the wilderness eating grass. So you got to make sure you meditating on those things. Because you don't know how your lot is gonna turn out. Verse 41: He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. So you can't be looking at this place as a place of longevity and things that's going to be beneficial for you in a long haul. You can't have that mindset. You got to have the daily bread mindset. I got what's sufficient for the day. I worry about tomorrow when tomorrow comes. And he that occupy merchandise, you got a business, you selling wares, as he that have no profit by it. Don't think you won't get what seek after. It says, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. You be trying to build up, your legacy, your children, your family, and all that. He that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. You ain't gonna be able to be there. He that soweth as if he shall not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers. And therefore they that labor in vain. So there's not going to be any benefits for you participating in this economy. You're going to labor in vain. Just worry about your daily necessities. So once again, this has been, there's going to come a time when you will have to forsake everything, and Lord willing, you are edified. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to our elders and apostles, great millstone that taught us the truth. Shalom, Wa Ba Ba Ba.